I said I would have a hard hat on until the war was over, and that was
I do remember
3
because
years.
I do remember because you and your father were on the show, Paper Mache Jesus.
Stutter and Freud and slip there, David.
It was a
Dave
study for
roasted
this.
me. Yeah, there's again. Dave was roasting me
Well, here's
pre-chat
what happens.
about stuttering.
I can explain myself, and I was certainly. I can explain myself, everyone. Usually what we do is we start the show at 6:30 p.m. By then, I have done all my speaking practice and I'm ready to start the show. I'm in the correct mindset and I'm ready at 6:30 p.m. So when I get a we must start at 7 text, I no longer know what I'm doing with life.
Look, Dave, you can either have light bulbs and lights work, or you can't. So
Right. On the show today, since I withhold the information from you until the beginning of the show.
on purpose, by design.
That's right. Classic overcorrection. Correction. Did it again. 6:30 p.m. I would have been spot on, Ryan. Classic overcorrection. Kanye West has a song. I'm not even going to spoil it. We'll just play the clip.
Is it the fish stick song?
Nope. There's a new pope, Ryan. Officially a new pope. They finally made it happen. New leader of 1.4 billion Catholics. Ryan, did you know there was that many Catholics on Earth?
Yeah,
It's a
surprised it's
lot.
not. Surprised not more,
Do you really
David.
think it was more? Is Catholic is how do they figure that? Is Christianity the biggest religion on Earth? And do they lump them together? How does this work?
Yeah, they're all Christians.
What if
Everybody's a Christian. They're not all Catholic.
Largest religion on Earth. Let's see. I thought it was Muslims. The two largest religions are Christianity and Islam. 2.3 billion and 1.8 billion. Yeah, holy shit. I think you should lump them together. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is Catholics are drunks.
Just veep, guys.
JD Vance nails the tweet about India and Pakistan. A new Surgeon General, Ryan. I'm normally these type of people we don't truly talk about or care about for the most part because a lot of times they're just figureheads. But I do want to play a couple things about this because the Surgeon General pick became interesting because people made it become interesting. And we're going to talk about Rumble's. Let's see, Rumble. For those not familiar, that's what you are watching on or should be watching on. If you're not watching on Rumble, you're idiots. But Rumble's financial situation and a couple of unique steps Rumble has taken that really shows well for the future, right? With that said, would you like to say anything before we start our show at 6:30 p.m.?
Fuck Ben Shapiro.
Okay, that's a take for sure, Ryan. Before the lead up, Ryan, you obviously a fan of hip hop growing up. I had my run-ins and my favorites here. My thing with hip hop's interesting because it's typically a handful of artists that I really like, and then there's a lot of artists that I think are just absolute garbage. Where did you line up on Kanye?
I guess I would consider Kanye at the time. It wasn't called backpack rap like Kid Cudi, Kanye. I was more of the Slim Shady, the remnants of Tupac and the DMX and a little bit harder stuff. I would consider like Kanye at the time like college rap. That's was popular through high school and college. I mean, he obviously played and had all those hit songs. I didn't particularly. That wasn't, back to your point, David, about a couple handfuls.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily gravitate to Kanye. I did appreciate him as I got older in a weird way. And that was mostly when I listened to the dated music of the time. I didn't realize how good of the music we actually had growing up until I listened to it in retrospect. And that may be just because of nostalgia, but
See, I would be basically the opposite. I was not an Eminem fan at all. I still am not really an Eminem fan, but I did like Kanye a lot. This is where we're at modern day. Okay, and to me, this is as I would define it, a classic overcorrection. It's a classic cultural overcorrection, Ryan. I don't know how else to explain it. See, this is where I could have somebody putting this up on the screen while we're talking, Ryan. How does that make you feel? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is, but okay.
That's certainly a choice.
She reaching down in my pants. She got the world in her hands.
I don't know. I can. I can't hear you at all. Ryan's face right now. Yep, that's the Hitler speech.
Meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Du jetzt keine Stimme mehr. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich bin. Wenn ja.
It doesn't surprise me. Hitler would probably be a Kanye fan. Granted, he did like John Lennon sucking.
You really think
so?
He
loved sucking sucking guys off to John Lennon in Argentina. I'm
assuming. Kanye only did that with his cousin.
I'm waiting for the day that somebody gets mad at me for making fun of gay Hitler, and then I get to, it's a catch-22 there, David. You're standing up for straight Hitler now.
Yeah.
What were they actually saying? Go up to the text of this tweet, please.
Yeah, I will go up to the text and not say what they were actually saying, because it is the third worst slur, of course, Ryan. Yep.
I didn't hear that. Just so you know.
You didn't? I thought it was very clear.
But kind of not.
All I heard the whole time was the N-word.
Eve said the same thing. She couldn't understand it. I understood it quite easily.
I could not understand anything, but it sounded like the N-word.
It certainly
was. I thought it said in the house N-word.
I thought it was saying me.
That's kind of funny, actually.
In the house.
That's actually kind of funny. No.
That's a hot take right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's why I love that we do the show fucking live. It's like, I could get Shrive some Ben Shapiro speech to come out here and talk all super intelligent about something that I researched for 2 minutes.
Here's the thing.
So funny, dude.
As someone who has, though, and part of the reason I asked this, because I wanted to know your experience with Kanye.
Ninja Hail Hitler, dude, is unreal, dude. Is unreal.
You know the worst part? The worst part about all this, other than all the Hitler stuff, it's not bad.
It's kind of a bop, dude. Hitler bops to some 808s, dude. The Fuhrer is definitely furing, dude.
the Furious Five.
Zifia. Yo.
I don't. I can't
wait till Kanye goes through his Mussolini arc, or then his Mao Zedong arc. It's gonna be great.
Clan Master Flash and the Furious Five.
Clan Master. Maybe his next 5 albums are dictators. He's just emulating dictators.
Back to what the whole reason I asked, though, how much you followed Kanye, and the reason I asked, because I did, and he kind of is like an expert level troll. And I'm not gonna lie, this would be a really long setup, because we have to go all the way back to remember he was on he walked out of the Tim Pool podcast, and then the next day he was on Alex Jones, and he was literally wearing a mask and praising Hitler and stuff. He is an expert level troll. I would not be surprised if this is the world's longest troll. And he would go out of his way to do appearances and an album, I assure you.
Yo, what if he releases an album called Hitler?
Well, what is? Hold on, what? Because I don't remember exactly what it is, but I'm gonna look it up because it is something crazy. If I remember correctly.
Ninja Hail Hitler.
No, it's just Bully. Never mind. I thought he had another. Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. There was a reported studio album coming out, and he was going to call it Cuck. That's what I was thinking. No, this album's called Bully. Yeah, it's something, but I don't know. But it could also be a cultural overcorrection because that's just what happens in nature, Ryan, with everything. Everything.
You mean like fat statues in Times Square, David?
Sure. Yeah. True. Like honestly, yes. Yes. You could sit here and name all the things, but when you have a society that goes so far in one direction, it doesn't ever seem to drift back. It's always like a hard yank back to reality. Like, for example, going from a Biden presidency to potentially a Kamala Harris presidency to going full on hardcore Trump again. Like all of
like
America.
The hardest fuck no you could pull politically.
The hardest fuck no possible is going back to Trump. Absolutely not. Kamala Harris, fuck no. That was a classic correction. Markets
People
correct,
were terrified.
cultures correct. We're seeing it all over the world too, not just in the United States. European culture, there is going to be revolution in Europe. We're seeing it. They're to the point where they are now. We talked about this, but jailing political opposition in Europe as well. They were stealing elections in Europe, just like they did here. There is a hardcore overcorrection coming, and this could be Kanye leading the charge on an overcorrection for sure. But this could also be there's so many things this could be, right? Could this be someone taking something a little too far? So right, we hear all the people talking about all the like Jewish theories, right? Jewish run the world, run the banks, run whatever. If you follow that far enough and drink the Kool-Aid on it enough, what is the obvious end result? Could that be at play? I don't know.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, let me say this. If you were told, okay, let's take it. I'm going to try to think of a different route instead of saying like the Jews ran. But for example, we talk about like global elitists. Okay, we talk about on the show all the time all the thing that the global elitists do. I guess all the regular people. Okay, whether control of any amount. And the more you talk about and the more we discover about the elites, how far would you go to protect yourself?
You would think at some point it's kind of like it's the frog in the boiling pot, is the easy analogy, but it's more like
you could do frog in boiling pot, and Kanye has jumped out of the pot.
But at some point, it's like stabbing your balloon. You can take a couple stabs probably, but some of these people are in positions that like once there's no way that they've structured it super good that they get out of everything. Like somebody's compromised somewhere kind of. But I don't know. Some of these people study, for all I know, they could study criminology and like how mafia they're basically like the mob, If the mob ran for 50 years in the Buffalo fucking underling and nobody knew about it, I don't know. I think at some point these people have to go all out. Like we were kind of talking the other day about the 170 cities and Epstein Island and tens of thousand hours of, let's be honest, we're paying government officials right now to get off to watching child pornography.
Yeah, basically. I mean, basically, they're gonna phrase it in whatever way they feel the need to phrase it. But quite frankly, they've been studying these now for, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. They've been studying Epstein files and footage for 5 to 10 years. Haven't released a name.
Crazy, whatever happened to a cellmate? Didn't that guy get killed too?
Epstein cellmate?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that maybe?
I'll round out about this anti-culture thing. David, so you're just thinking that, like, since we're Kanye to some degree, you're thinking could be trolling the fact that since everybody's on the Jews run everything, he's just riding the anti-Jew thing to the nth degree, which the opposite of super Jew is super anti-Jew, which is Hitler. He's like the super anti-Jew.
Yes, overcorrection.
Okay, so the overcorrection isn't the actual
what it
infatuation
is
with Nazis. It's just more infatuation of that the only control that we've ever seen to an overpowering group of Jews was Hitler.
Right, just like the Trump vote was a fuck no, this is a fuck you.
The fuck you to Jews as Hitler is crazy.
I mean, what else would it be?
Mao Zedong?
I don't think so.
Gook is still the worst word, huh?
What is?
Gook, right?
No, it was cunt was the worst word.
Oh, yeah, because of girls. That's right.
No, it was because China's one child policy, right? We determined most negatively affected women because they killed female babies
disproportionately.
So the greatest atrocity of all time towards one specific race or gender was against women by the Chinese. It was worse than slavery. It was worse than the Holocaust.
So gook cunt is the worst slang that you can contrive in the human language.
I don't know about that. What's a gook, Ryan? You're gonna have to explain racial slurs to me.
It's like the N word for Asians, David. I'm saying like
that doesn't. You can't. And Asians don't have an N word.
Dude, my uncle used to call them pinks because
they're the least affected race of all time. They're the most comforted race of all time.
Dave, the Japanese and Chinese have been murdering themselves for centuries over fucking their ethnicity, and just because their eyes slant a different way.
That's like black on black crime. That doesn't even count.
Okay, okay, fucking Catholic on Catholic crime. Doesn't if you rape a kid, as long as he's a Christian, it's fine because it's Catholic on Catholic.
I mean,
Christian on Christian crime.
We did have Japanese internment camps here, courtesy of FDR.
We now have Mexican internment camps thanks to Trump.
Well, no, we put those in El Salvador.
Who built the cages, Joe?
Yeah. Where did that come from? I don't remember where you were.
Oh, cellmate of Epstein.
Oh, he did no. He was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences.
So probably
for a quadruple homicide. Ryan, the new Pope.
Let's put the guy that partied with Prince Andrew and underage girls with a guy that's on trial for a quadruple homicide.
No. Ryan, the new Pope.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with people? I see there were some chemtrails the other day, dude. I'm driving. I look to my left. It's X. It's like they're playing tic-tac-toe. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's only water vapor, Ryan.
I'm going down there to blow up airplanes and
it's only water vapor.
Jail me as a terrorist. I don't care. You're fucking poisoning people. You're telling me I'm the terrorist.
Only water vapor.
Frozen water vapor, dude.
Ryan, try to control yourself. I'm going to pull Tim Pool on the screen, but I think This is
Look,
an
I have
interesting
no
point.
hate against Tim Pool other than he's a
Are you
fucking
sure?
ass
Are you sure?
fence sitter.
He makes an interesting point here. He says the Pope is getting praised by woke atheists and criticized by Catholics.
Fake math, MAGA Catholics.
It's it's interesting. It's kind of like judge me on my friends and my enemies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what are you saying here?
I think that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking. Here's what I'm saying. If
So
you're the
you think
Pope,
he's a piece of shit because atheists are
well,
praising him as being a man of God, and the people that he's supposed to represent hate him?
I can see what you're saying, but I think the context is important. It's not. He's not getting praised for being a man of God.
He's getting praised for what?
Some of his former social media posts, which is wild that we live in a world where popes have social media posts.
The Pope's posting,
Isn't that
dude.
weird? Isn't that weird? The Pope posts on social media. It's
The
like
Pope
selfies.
posted.
Selfie of the day.
Yo, hung with
Fucking,
the
you're
Lord
a
today,
Pope.
dude.
In the Pope mobile. LOL. It's like, you're a fucking Pope. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
Francis got carried by fucking 17 people. Just ceremonial, huh?
It's just a selfie in front of a bunch of cardinals.
Died super broke. 17. He had $71 in his bank account.
No, so and here's the thing. We can Jen Psaki circle back to this. But
I fucking hate her even more now that she's super intelligent. Now that she doesn't work for the government, like, oh no, I always. She's
oh
like
no, I
super
definitely
sharp,
do. Yeah,
super sharp and witty, and like all there, and super not fucking Veep. It's just Veep, guys. Yeah, it's Veep because they punched in for corruption. You fucking prick. I hate Ben Shapiro. I'm sorry.
where are you going? I will come back. We will come back to this in the future. But there was a bunch of people complaining about old social media posts. I'm not going to sit here and bring them all up. If anything super interesting comes out, I'll let you know. But the context of it is surprise, new pope, super cultural, political leftist. Surprise, doesn't believe in Catholicism like the old pope. So, what do you want me to say on that? But
I heard he's
it's
an
not a
American from
surprise.
Chicago.
He is an American from Chicago. He's like a Barack Obama. He's like a little Pope Obama in the Pope mobile with 20 foes and his
He's
husband
a.
wife.
Too bad he's not black. He could be the.
Nope. Nope. No, you can't. You can't. Because then you're gonna have a GoFundMe and you're gonna get a bunch of money, and it's not good.
I
It's not
put
good.
Pope and Giga together. Pope Giga. Pope Giga.
I don't think we're gonna explore that, Ryan. So yeah, new Pope. We'll if anything interesting comes out, we'll
Pope
talk
Giga
about
is
it.
funny, dude.
No, we're not talking about Pigas. If anything super interesting comes out, we'll talk about it. But in the meantime, there's a new Pope. Ryan?
What's up, my
Ryan?
Giga, dude?
We're still Ryan, we're still on YouTube.
You started in the
you have to self-censor, Ryan. We're still
I'm
on
not
YouTube.
self-censoring shit, dude. I'm on Rumble.
I'm saying this like we didn't start off with the Kanye song about Hitler to open the program.
Culture, and then you're like, it's a cultural correction.
I didn't say it was a good one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a natural overcorrection.
Yeah, this is natural. It's just
I'm not rooting him on or anything. I'm just, just letting you know.
I can say Piga, dude. Get fucked. It's not even a real word. You're mad I can't say the one word and then I just make a joke about a black
Ryan,
pope.
that's probably like the 7th worst slur I've ever heard you say.
Piga. Why? Because the popes, black popes have killed people.
Well,
David.
Ryan, are you a Catholic? That's for us Catholics, right?
I'm Christian.
Exactly. You can't. That's my word.
Look, for all you know, I could be black and I just appear as white, David. All skin folk and kinfolk, dude.
Ryan, JD Vance. JD Vance took to social media, like the Pope, to let everyone know that India Pakistan India versus Pakistan is not our place, and we should stay out of it.
Really?
And I only bring that up for two reasons. One, I want to just note and document that he is publicly against the United States entering the war as of today, May 8th, 2025. Because I suspect behind closed doors, these people are not as anti-war as they say they are. And I'll leave it there. Part of it because I mean, hey, we had those leaked signal files where they were high-fiving because they were bombing Yemen. So I don't know how much I'm supposed to believe they're anti-war.
Do you really think that like JD Vance is just double dipping like they always have?
Yeah, I do. I don't think here's why I think this, Ryan. I will start with this, okay? Not to, put a little pre-statement to my statement, but here's what I'll start with. I generally consider myself anti-war.
Okay.
Fully acknowledging that there is a time and a place for war. Sometimes there's no other options.
Okay.
With that said, to be in a group privately high-fiving because you're bombing another country, and then to publicly tell everyone, nope, don't want to be in war, stay out, stop the killing, right? This has been the whole slogan of the Trump administration, stop the killing. It doesn't, those two things don't match. And I don't think it's coincidental that the things don't match, that one's public and one's private.
They say what you do in the dark makes you shine in the light, David.
Okay, Darman.
What? Okay. All right. Brian, let's explore that.
What'd she say, David?
She called you Darman.
I don't know who that is.
I thought there was a small chance you might because of your daughter. He has like a YouTube channel where he does.
Ryan's daughter actually goes outside.
I know, but all kids watch YouTube. I promise you. He has a YouTube channel where he does super cheesy, cringy, inspirational videos, and they always have
They're changing lives.
Sure,
David.
he's not making videos. He's changing lives. I get it. Where he does
Not changing lives by becoming a millionaire.
Well, that was just coincidental that he can't. Yeah.
Just Veep, guys. Just
he
Veeps.
definitely. Yeah, no, didn't have rich parents or anything. So he's not just making videos, Ryan. He's changing lives, but they always have super cheesy like one-liners in the video that the whole video is like, "Are we doing this?"
What happens in the dark always comes to light.
That's one of the ones, and I just to give you like a quick feel about what we're talking about here. I almost feel like I have to.
You want to rip your skin off, don't you, when you watch this creepy fucker?
He actually, honestly, truthfully,
hey there, Darman.
He's super cringy, but he doesn't really seem like a bad guy or anything. Like he seems all right, but like his videos. Whoa,
is he worse than Steve's from Blue's Clues?
Relax. Okay, hold on. Just to give you like an idea of what we're talking about here, Ryan. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. Okay, do you see this? This is like his shtick. Like, sister ashamed of disabled brother. Gold digger breaks up with broke boyfriend. Evil babysitter. Okay, These are like the kinds of things that. So, like, just to give you a glimpse, Ryan, this is the kind of shit we're talking about here.
Oh, baby.
How gay are... Hold on.
I'm so excited. I think I know what it is. You know how badly I've wanted.
This started out with like, we're going to see how cringy this guy is. This guy makes videos for kids, okay? Let's be honest. Can we look at the sponsored ad to the top right?
Yo, how gay are you?
How gay are you? An LGBTQ
Click the test. Click the test. Click
Dude,
the
it's
test.
for kids.
Click the test.
We're sponsoring How Gay Are You to kids? We're doing. You want to do the test, Ryan? You want to see how gay we are?
Yeah.
You curious? Are you bi-curious?
I'm just curious. How is there a gay test? I thought you were born that way.
What's your gay meter? This was sponsored for kids. Let's
Play
see
the
what we're
game
talking
meter.
about.
Play the game
Add to
meter,
Chrome.
David.
It's free. No, I'm not adding to Chrome. You have to add it to Chrome. Dude, how is this a game? What do you mean?
I just want to find out how gay I am. How hard?
You gotta like download shit and stuff? Like how far do they take this?
Yeah, download an app to see if I'm gay. It's a lot of work, David. It sounds like
This
data
is kinda
collection.
fucked up.
This
Well, I
sounds
did-
like data collection.
Oh my god. What is this? Dude, literally you can't even play it. This is fucking wild. We have to understand though what the bigger point here is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted
is-
by homosexuality,
Well,
David.
no, but I get it. It's really fucked up though, right? Am I wrong?
No, that's super fucked, dude. I've said it for a little
Like,
while now that I think the reason that you see so many unicorns on young kids' stuff is to groom them to be gay because they're gonna grow up seeing rainbows rather, and then when they grow up, what is the rainbow flag associated with? And what have they been wearing their whole life? It's like you're grooming them to wear gay attire. If it works with a Bills
that's pretty
jersey,
fucked
why would it not work
That's
with
pretty-
a rainbow?
That's pretty fucked up.
In this bag.
I want you to have everything you want in life, babe.
This is
Wait,
it. Like this is the
What
whole-
is this? Kate Spade? I can't be caught wearing Kate Spade. I told you I wanted a Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah. So that's Darman. But anyway, he has like all these videos have super cheesy one-liners, and one of them is what is it? Something about
What happens in the dark always comes to light.
what happens in the dark always comes to light, right?
You can tell she's a teacher, dude. She just has got the what always comes to dark. Oh,
That's why I called you Darman.
yeah. I got a lesson for you, Dave.
Yeah. Anyways, JD Vance. Yeah. Pretty sure closeted Warhawk. And he wears eyeliner. Fucking freaks me out. How gay is JD Vance?
He fucked a couch, I heard.
Does that bother anyone else? The eyeliner?
What, they fucked the couch?
No, guys always look better with eyeliner.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't look like
It's
guys
a fact.
with
It's
eyeliner.
literally a fact.
Yo, here you go. Yo, I'm gonna have her put me on makeup one time. I'm gonna do makeup like Ben Shapiro, and I'm gonna get on air and see if you notice.
I will
For sure.
absolutely, I 100% will notice if you have eyeliner on.
I'm gonna get mascara, David. I'll realize how gay I am then.
Do you really not think I'll notice if you have eyeliner on, Ryan?
I mean, depends how I wear the
fucking
eyeliner, David.
Relentlessly mock you.
Why, David? Are you like
I will come up with new slurs.
clearly not as one as the Piga, dude?
Rumble, Ryan. Rumble
Okay.
holds 210 Bitcoin currently.
Holy fuck, dude! Really?
That's yes. It's that's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin.
So Rumble's like,
Well, here's the thing. Rumble is going to create its own wallet. Its own crypto wallet. I'm telling you, Rumble is doing things that people are not doing.
they're sleeping on.
Oh my god. Like Rumble is going to explode. I don't think people understand what's going to happen.
That's why it's called Rumble, David. It's shaking things up.
And what is Rumble, Ryan? What is Rumble other than a cultural overcorrection? Because you know what? You know what's not going to happen on Rumble, Ryan? You're not going to go to watch a fucking kids video and get a "How gay are you?" quiz. Doesn't happen at Rumble. Everyone go over to
Right.
Rumble, create an account, log in, watch us, subscribe to us, like, comment, share, all that bullshit. Don't care. Don't even care if you watch us. Go to Rumble though. Go to fucking Rumble because that's where everything's at. It's not just the conspiracy theorists that the Canadian government is tracking or whatever the fuck Mike says. It is the place to be because it's the only place that truly believes in fundamental things like, I don't know, free speech. $210 Bitcoin around.
Dude, they can almost like take loans out against that.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess you could. But also what happens with...
I don't mean actually, I just mean like the amount of market share and value they actually have stashed in Bitcoin. I'm sure they have other assets as well, like in other investments.
Sure. The other thing that happens, though, when you have that much Bitcoin is, what does Bitcoin do? Well, over time, it grows. So the more you keep on hand, you can create kind of like a reserve where you can use those funds as it grows to build your company. And build value in your company, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're also promoting the very thing that Bitcoin is trying to promote, which is like value created through scarcity in a way. Like more or less the balance between value and scarcity and what that actually means as a consumer and a producer.
I think, and this is probably the biggest part of it, but what did Rogan say the one day? Fuck, what did he say? He said something like, if you're gonna have fuck you money, you better say fuck you. And that's what Rumble's doing. They're creating fuck you money because, quite frankly, they might have done it backwards, but they've been running around saying fuck you to global governments. And then maybe they quickly realized, oh no, we're saying fuck you without having fuck you money. We better get it. But yeah, they're building up quite a reserve.
It's interesting.
Ryan.
Yeah, and then I wonder if they're gonna like segue into like AI and stuff, like because everybody's gonna have to have some kind of algorithm to compete with these other companies just to have a fair shot, and then that makes me wonder what happens with this crypto wallet things and nature of that.
Ryan, normally we don't. I mean, like the RFK Jr., we talked about him a little bit, and we mentioned Tulsi Gabbard and some of the picks, like some of the bigger name picks we talked about. But normally this person, the Surgeon General that was just picked, is not really the kind of person that we would really talk about. It's kind of like a lower tier position or whatever. But the thing that's interesting...
She's a hot woman?
No. The thing that's interesting comes from the clip I'm about to play and the clip we're going to play after that. Because what we're going to try to do is sort through... This is kind of like the public versus private JD Vance conversation. Like in public, JD Vance wears eyeliner and is not a war hawk. In private, I think he takes the eyeliner off and wants to bomb Yemen. So I'm trying to figure out where this lady stands, because I'm telling you, on this video that we're about to watch, she sounds outstanding. And then we're going to play a PBD clip with people who have problems with her, and I'm trying to figure out why. Ryan, I didn't pull it up yet. I didn't pull it up. I was going to, and then I forgot to share it. Here it is. We're going to talk about why, Ryan.
You would think that the American healthcare system and our government agencies would be clamoring to fix metabolic health and reduce American suffering and costs. But they're not. They are deafeningly silent about metabolic dysfunction and its known causes. It's not an overstatement to say that I learned virtually nothing at Stanford Medical School about the tens of thousands of scientific papers that elucidate these root causes of why American health is plummeting and how environmental factors are causing it. For instance, in medical school, I did not learn that for each additional serving of ultra-processed food we eat, early mortality increases by 18%. This now makes up 67% of the foods our kids are eating. I took zero nutrition courses. I didn't learn that 82% of independently funded studies show harm from processed food, while 93% of industry-sponsored studies reflect no harm. In medical school, I didn't learn that 95%...
That's kind of an interesting statistic. So when the studies
Don't follow the money. Don't follow the money, though.
When the studies are funded by private enterprise, all of a sudden processed foods don't seem to be a big deal, Ryan.
Of the people who created the recent USDA food guidelines for America had significant conflicts of interest with the food industry. I did not learn that 1 billion pounds of synthetic pesticides are being sprayed on our food every single year. 99% of the farmland in the United States is sprayed with synthetic pesticides, many from China and Germany. And these invisible, tasteless chemicals are strongly linked to autism, ADHD, sex hormone disruption, thyroid disease, sperm dysfunction, Alzheimer's, dementia, birth defects, cancer, obesity, liver dysfunction, female infertility, and more.
Yep. I don't know where she went.
Learn that for each additional serving of ultra-processed food, reflect no harm. In medical school, I don't is sprayed with synthetic pesticides, many from China and Germany. And these invisible, tasteless chemicals are strongly linked to autism, ADHD.
It's only on all of the
sex
food.
hormone disruption.
Where autism come from? I don't know. The billion
dysfunction,
pounds of
Alzheimer's,
fucking
dementia,
glyphosate
cancer, obesity,
sprayed
liver
on the
dysfunction,
food.
liver
You
dysfunction, female infertility,
fucking
and more.
idiots.
It's just
metabolic
genetic,
health.
Ryan.
Just
I did not
eat
learn
the bugs and climb in the death pod. I gotta get up here. Can you pause this? I want to talk over this highly educated woman as a peasant, David, just eating my GMO fucking food. I've told you fucks for years about poison food and water, and now everybody walks around as if they're fucking educated and as if you're doing something. It's too late. I told you guys, I tried telling you guys 10 years ago. It's too late. It's too much. We're fucked. They fucked the entire human genome.
Well, are you sure it wasn't genetics, Ryan?
I don't want to hear shit about explosions of cancer or crazy disease or no. It's, yeah, we breathe microplastic. Tell me where the fuck cancer came from. Do you know, David, I told you this? They knew what forever chemicals were going to do to the environment, and they made them anyways. All those companies. Johnson & Johnson and all of them, they knew.
That's right.
They paid
yeah,
they knew.
Sure.
They knew that they would alter people, it'd fuck with your DNA, and they knew the environmental effects. They still shipped them, and even after they were leaking in everywhere, they denied it until they were caught.
Eve did a like a college, what was that paper you did about the pesticides and the bees?
A capstone?
Yeah. Nope, that's all she's going to go. Perfect. Eve did a college paper about the effects the pesticides had on the bees, and believe it or not, they were negative.
I've done it. I did a bunch of them. I even did some when I was in high school about looking at early puberty in girls because of the pesticides.
That sounds conspiratorial.
Yeah, it's not linked at all.
It's probably genetic early puberty, Ryan.
Yeah, it's normal for everybody to fuck at 9 years old. You know, everybody's a great grandmother at fucking 35.
Earlier, we've got most of them are starting puberty. Not most. A lot of them are starting at 4 years old now.
Wait, what?
4 to 5.
Who's starting puberty at 4 to 5?
Girls.
Girls are starting puberty at 4 to 5 years old?
It's increasing, yeah. The age is lowering.
What the fuck? What do you mean?
Hey, I had to go to the actual library and look in books for this.
No, that sounds like conspiratorial books.
I know Alex Jones wrote books.
15.
Dude, what would you do to a 5-year-old girl?
Well, puberty typically begins between the ages of 8 and 13 in girls. Even honestly, 8 is way earlier than I thought.
My sister
starting as early
around
4 or 5 is a rare occurrence called precocious puberty. This means child's physical signs of sexual maturity develop too soon. In girls, I think it's precocious. Puberty is defined as starting before age 8. The release of hormones too early without any other underlying medical problem must be genetic. Other causes, common but can include tumors, growths on ovaries, adrenal glands, pituitary glands, or brain, or problems with thyroids or ovaries. In some cases, no cause can be found. Yeah, just genetic, I'm sure.
Just genetic. Where'd it come from? Just genetic.
No, early puberty can just run in families, Ryan. That's what the Cleveland Clinic says.
Yeah, of course, when it's in your genes, David. How to get there? It's not the pesticides changing your genes. Don't worry about epigenetics.
No, that's
people.
the thing too, because they just say it's genetic. Like, well, it's just we agree the genes are mutating. Why?
Well, it's not
Why?
the chemicals, Dave. It's not the chemicals. It's not the glyphosates. It's not the aluminum dioxide pheromones. It's not all the fake synthetic food that we eat.
That's crazy. 4 or 5.
You have to look up. I mean, I've been out of high school now for 100 years, so you'd have to actually look up the numbers to see how much it's actually increased.
Well, David, I'll go further to the little 8 to 13-year-old thing. The thing like that sounds young, but you got to think puberty technically starts when they're going through that in the brain, not necessarily the body. And all those hormones for the girls to go through puberty, the brain systems kind of need to be developed before the body is ready, right? So it would make sense that puberty would start in the brain before the body, years before the body caught up. It's kind of like how
I always figured
you
it
might
was
be
like
checking out ass before your dick works. You know what I mean?
I always thought it was like an 11 to like 14 kind of thing. That's
no, dude.
To your son tell you that he watched the puberty movie?
Sure, but he's 10.
Yeah, why is a 10-year-old watching puberty when guys don't do puberty till like 15?
Well, because there's girls. I mean, there's girls in the class, sure. But 10 is
girls,
right. Like, so if I think it's like 11 to 14, they're 10. They want to learn about it before it happens. That kind of lines up and checks out.
Some of them already have their period.
We definitely didn't watch it that young.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you remember when you watched in school?
I never watched a period movie, David.
You didn't watch a period? You guys didn't do sex ed or anything?
We did sex ed in high school.
In high school?
Well, it's too late, man.
You're already fucking in high school, Ryan. Oh, by the way, this is how you put a condom on. Yeah,
look,
too late.
Look, Dave, look. All I know is sex ed. I didn't need help, but they told me to find the clit. So
is it legit? It was high school?
I had sex ed in 11th grade. Might have been
11th grade?
12th grade. I'm sorry. I took health in 12th grade. I lost my virginity already. Yeah. 12th grade.
What the fuck?
We might have took like something in middle school, but David, now mind you, we did have the babies in 6th and 7th grade that you had to like take that fake baby home. Yeah.
Dude.
And then my older sister had the cigarette box that you'd have to go outside, be like, time for a cigarette. Yeah, so we're teaching our kids not to smoke. Just teach them what time to go smoke, you fucks. No psychology happening here.
I wish we had that.
They're in 5th grade. Everybody does opiates in my fucking generation. Wonder why? You showed them cocaine.
Well, you got to teach them how to
dick work.
You got to teach them how to smoke, so when they have sex,
just in case you
20 years
just in case you see your parents doing this, call the police on them. So what? I'm homeless now too, and a drug addict. You fucking assholes.
What in the
I don't know what's so funny. I don't know what is so funny.
What the
That's
fuck
really what happened.
What the hell was this school you went to? Dude, you went to school like
a criminal thing.
20 miles from where I went to school.
Yeah, David, underfunded. That's what we were, David.
Right, we live in the middle of nowhere, and we had sex ed before 12th grade.
Dude, 12th grade sex ed is fucking wild.
It wasn't sex ed, it was health class, David. It was lumped together with...
It was like fucking... Would you go to... You went to fucking Catholic school? Only when you're married, though. What in the fuck? 12th grade sex ed is fucking crazy.
Sex ed
Dude, the whole point is you're supposed to teach them before it happens.
No, we had birth control, David.
You guys weren't having sex in 12th grade? That's fucking crazy.
Yo, I lost my virginity, and I was the last one in my friend group. You know what I mean?
You were waiting for that sex ed class to kick in. You were really waiting for that sex ed class.
I was the last one in the group, and I lost it before 12th grade. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my god, I'm gonna
Yo, my one buddy, it's like 7th, 8th grade. He looked at all of us. He's like, I'm fucking this summer. And he did. He did, dude. I'll tell you. And then we didn't see him for a while. Didn't see him for a while. Dude was on a bike every fucking day, dude, just athletically biking all over the area. Just getting after it. Triathlete pussy, dude. Just.
Well, the great news is 5 years later, he learned about sex.
Fucking jump, run, jump, and fucking climb, dude. He was ducking a girl's dad for like a whole summer, dude. He'd show up to her dad, our buddy's house. Zammer! I'm like, oh god, dude. No, I haven't seen him.
Holy fuck.
Well, the plus side for Ryan is he has 500 siblings, so he knew.
That's a good point.
Yeah, as long as I can remember, my sex ed was don't be like your dad and have a bunch of kids. That was my sex ed from 9. And
here you are, all these years later, saying your dad had it right. Your dad had it right. Go ahead.
Had it right. Everybody fucking lied to me, dude. Everybody lied.
Have just 25 kids.
Bust nuts and fill up cups, dude. Fuck them.
You got to think too. Like these are only the ones you know about. Your dad's got to have.
Oh, dude.
He's got Elon Musk kids.
Dude, 20. I'm sure every place he's ever traveled, he's got a kid somewhere.
You gotta bring him on here.
Holy fuck.
I mean, you gotta think, my dad grew up before cell phone. He had a pager. So, like, you drive 2 towns over, it's like you're in a fucking different country. In the 80s. You know? Like, dude, you don't even gotta go 2 cities over, dude. You could go a whole neighborhood, and it's like, nah, they're not ratting me.
Dude, that's crazy. We kind of stopped. We got a little bit more to go. 12th grade sex ed.
Invented about 100 years ago, are being broken down into microplastics that are now filling our food, our water, and we are now even inhaling them in our air. And that very recent research.
What about nanoplastics?
From just the past couple of months tells us that
nano.
About 0.5% of our brains by weight are now plastic.
0.5% of our brains by weight are plastic.
Hey, Dave, what's the average weight of a human brain, dude?
3 pounds.
3 pounds. 0.5%.
So a half a pound of our head? Hold on.
What? No.
Yeah, no way. Like a 0.05 pound?
And a half a pound would be 1/6.
A fifth
Either
of a gram?
It's 0.5%. It's a lot regardless.
It's a spoon?
It's about the size of a spoon, I would believe, Ryan.
I didn't learn that there are more than 80,000 toxins that have entered our food, water, air, and homes by industry, many of which are banned in Europe.
But it's just parts per million, Ryan.
No big deal.
80,000. It's all parts per million. How many 80,000 do you need to get parts per million?
Yeah, I had to put a fucking mask on. Had to put a mask on for a thing built in a lab. Don't worry about the shit released by every corporation in America and in the world.
80,000.
And they are known to alter our gene expression, alter our microbiome
I'm sorry, I pause every 3 seconds. Alter gene expression. Oh, you mean it's just fucking genetics?
It's in the genetics.
Where does the gene mutation come from, Ryan?
The gene's familiar with the matter,
genetic.
David.
Yeah, just genetic.
Gene's familiar with the matter.
Yeah, 4-year-old girl. Yeah, it must be genetic. Cleveland Clinic. Oh, that 5-year-old has fucking breasts. Must be genes.
Hey,
the Cleveland Clinic. We're the experts. Trust the science, Ryan.
Hey, trust the science. We can fuck these kids, Dave. They got boobs in the parts. Send them to Epstein.
Oh my god, the ultimate conspiracy theory. Where'd the early puberty come from? Well, we got tens of thousands of hours of child porn. Jeffrey Epstein. FBI is just out there doing their research. Fucking crazy.
Yo, a bunch of FBI agents right now are watching child porn getting paid. Fucking
probably in a fucking underground city too.
With fucking lube. You know they're jerking off to that. These fucking creepy fucks, dude.
Position and the lining of our gut and disrupt our hormones. I didn't learn that heavy metals like aluminum and lead are present in our food, our baby formula, personal care products, our soil, and many of the mandated medications like vaccines, and that these metals are neurotoxic and inflammatory. I didn't learn that the average American walks a paltry 3,500 steps per day, even though we know, based on science and top journals, that simply walking 7,000 steps a day slashes by 40 to 60% our risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and obesity.
3,500 steps a day is wildly low. I work a desk job, and if I'm under 10,000, fuck, I don't know what I was doing all day. 3,500 steps? That's like getting up to go to the bathroom like 3 times. Like, that's fucking, that's nothing. Nothing at all.
There's days where I'm like that.
That's fucking terrible. Yeah. That's barely moving. Fucking get up and walk like once an hour. Just go fucking stroll.
No.
I certainly did not learn that medical error
and
medication are the third.
All right. Scientists are retards. I told you all that 10 years ago from a crazy guy on the internet that was interviewing people with super powerful microscopes that were cut open. They were cut open McDonald's chicken nuggets and measuring the shit inside chicken nuggets under a nano fucking microscope, and they were taking water and dropping it and looking at a magnifying glass live on air, David. Believe it or not, somebody used to do this a long time ago before he was fucking bankrupted. But she didn't know. I gotta wait for the people that were told already.
No, hold on, real quick. I think you're missing the point of what she's saying. What she's
all conspiracies are real.
Well, yes, but hold on. Here, this is what she's saying. She's saying she went to medical school and she didn't learn any of these things until she got out. Yeah. That's what she's saying. She acknowledges all this is true. What she's saying is she never learned it in medical school. And
why would they teach you that?
Well, this is kind of like a do your own research. Oh, like Google? You think you're smarter than scientists because you have Google? No, I think...
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm smarter than scientists. I say I'm more honest than scientists. I'm telling you that what I read into, and I don't hide the information. I don't think scientists don't know any of this information. I think doctors and all these people in different medical fields and stuff, I believe they all know this information. That's what makes it bad. That's what makes it House of Cards and not Veep.
Are they really doing doctor shit, David, or they're just playing doctor? Are there really nurses, or they're just people that can be a nurse? They just play the role of a nurse. How many people that are in science back fields actually do science-based things? How many of them are actually doing scientific experiments that the rest of them follow? It's very few. When we say trust the science, everybody thinks you're a science teacher. You're science this and that. In reality, they mean like 6 people. And it's the people she's talking about that hide all the information.
Yeah. And that's the real problem. Again, this isn't Veep. All these people know this.
Third leading cause of death in the United States. I didn't learn that just 5 nights of sleep deprivation can induce full-blown prediabetes.
I'm going to have diabetes.
I learned nothing about sleep. And we're getting about 20% less sleep on average than we were 100 years ago. I didn't learn that American children...
I don't sleep at all. I don't know if you've noticed. When you're out, the difference is when you're out, you're fucking out. I fucking bounce around all night. Fucking all night, every night.
You definitely have sleep apnea.
Yeah, I don't need to breathe.
Are getting less time outdoors now than a maximum security prisoner. And on average... adults spend 93% of their time indoors, even though we know from the science that separation from sunlight destroys our circadian biology, and circadian biology dictates our cellular biology. I didn't learn that professional organizations that we get our practice guideline from, like the American Diabetes Association and American Academy of Pediatrics, have taken tens of millions of dollars from Coke, Cadbury, processed food companies, and vaccine manufacturers.
No, I'm sure
like
they just
Moderna.
don't know the information.
Trust
I
science.
Learn that if we address these root causes that lead to metabolic dysfunction and help patients change their food and lifestyle patterns with united, strong voice, we could reverse the chronic disease crisis in America, save millions of lives and trillions of dollars in healthcare costs per year. Instead, doctors are learning that the body is 100 separate parts, and we learn how to drug, we learn how to cut, and we learn how to bill. I'll close by saying that what we are dealing with here is so much more than a physical health crisis. This is a spiritual crisis. Because
we're spiritually dead, David. Everybody's spiritually dead.
We are choosing death over light. We are choosing death over life. We are choosing darkness over light for people and the planet, which are inextricably linked. We are choosing to erroneously believe that we are separate from nature and that we can continue to poison nature and then outsmart it. Our path out will be a renewed respect for the miracle of life and a renewed respect for nature. We can restore health to Americans rapidly with smart policy and courageous leadership. We need a return to courage. We need a return to common sense and intuition. We need a return to awe for the sheer miraculousness of our lives. We need all hands on deck. Thank you.
And she will be assassinated, David, within 3 to 6 months, and probably they'll say that she died of a heart attack from myocarditis.
Speaking my language, Ryan. Return to intuition. You mean trust your senses? Return to courage?
The courage thing is interesting, David, because there's the whole strong men are made by hard times and hard times, but we've been in good times.
Strong men, strong men create
good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times create strong men, and then the cycle continues. And we're in good men created strong times. The baby boomers have left it to Gen Xers that pissed it away. And now we're cutting our dicks off and fucking kids. Spiritually dead. She's very right. We're spiritually dead. We have no spiritual compass. We got nothing to ground us. Jordan Peterson always talked about this, that like the big thing about the death of God and Nietzsche was that when you lose your spiritual aspect of society, there's nothing to ground the society. You kind of just become aimless, and we're all just walking off in 8 million different directions from each other, trying to all do the same thing all together, all different ways. And that's not how you build. You can't build a bridge and a road by all trying to build it different ways. And we're not going to all be able to trade and barter, which is fucking going to work. We just call it going to work, but it's really bartering because you're trading time for $1 and then $1 for a fucking item. Bartering. Just get over it. And we're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to work. We're going to get invaded in a different way. And then I'll go one more thing, what she was saying about courageous leadership. And then she also referenced how it's basically the most educated people were given the most psychological programming. And it's like the brightest people were told the biggest lies. And you have to, obviously, because they're smart, you have to lie to them very well. So it makes sense. It's really easy. Orwell said it was real easy to get the prowls to lie, right? Or to follow. You just let them gamble, watch sports, drink beer, and smoke cigarettes. And give them just enough money to get by till the next week. And they'd be happy. But the power's in the prowls. Because they are a massive society. But to go further, Orwell and extension Winston in those books, it was always harder to wake up people within the system, and it was harder to find people within the system, and that's because they're entrenched, and then they're also given the most propaganda, which goes back to my initial point I was going to say. Carl Jung said that the future of medicine will all be psychological, and that all disease and everything else basically comes from a psychological beginning. All root disease and death really basically starts in the brain.
Well, that's interesting because there is still to this day this like idea that and you'll even hear doctors and stuff say this, but this idea that if someone's very sick, well, we're just gonna have to keep them in good spirits. It's kind of it's interesting that you kind of say that, because I've heard that before.
Well, I mean, I am a modern day alchemist, David. I literally am a magician. Electricity is not real. Like, you can't grab electricity.
Well, you can.
Like a plumb.
You're not supposed to.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though.
Trust me, we have special tools that work in case you grab too much electricity. We have to make you stop.
Yeah, but electricity is a phenomenon. It's not a thing.
Yeah,
it's a force. It's not a thing. When you see a bolt of lightning, it's not electricity that you're seeing. You're seeing electrons arc off of all the shit in the air. It hits calcium and iron.
Electricity is kind of like gravity.
No, I'm not saying a kind of it. It's a force of nature. It is not a thing. Electricity is not like water that there's a pool of it sitting somewhere. It's invisible. It's literally fucking invisible.
Well, there's like a pool of it in the air, though, isn't there?
It's generated from the earth, Dave.
Correct.
There is electricity in our atmosphere. Yes. I mean, we're a bioelectric chemical machines, David, to go full circle. But that's kind of where I'm going to, and then to go full circle is, how did I get on that? There's electricity was phenomenal. What?
Carl,
science. Yeah. Medicine is kind of like the same way. I've heard it put very well by actually Tom Barley, local talk show host. He said that a good doctor is actually like part artist and part scientist, and it's kind of like they go by like the old school remedies, but they also are cutting edge technology. And we definitely lost that. We lost that at the medical facilities, and it's obviously because of big pharma. It doesn't take long for fucking Rockefeller and a few $1 trillion to get carried away. But I don't know. I think it's interesting, the psychological thing, because more than anything, to go extension, I don't want to stretch out Carl Jung more than I need to, but I think it's worth mentioning. It's an entendre, but he's 100% right. All disease is psychological, because the people that could help us were lied to. They were given propaganda. So the people with the most education and the know-how and the ability to save us, because they talk to all of us, our doctors, our dentists, our vision doctor, why can't I think, optometrists, all these people that know, nutritionists, and these people that could actually know the truth and touch the average man, woman, and child every day for the rest of their life and make a good describing they were sold propaganda and lies so that they could pay off their 6-figure fucking college loan debt. That's actually what is all cause of disease. Carl Jung was right. Psychological disorder, fucking political Stockholm syndrome, student loan Stockholm syndrome is the root cause of all disease in America. College debt is the root cause of all disease in America. College debt is the root cause of all divorce in America. College debt is the root cause of all, what's the other one? Education, college. College is revolved around college debt. The only reason your teacher tells you to go to college is because they're in college debt. Tell me why I make what a teacher makes, David, with a high school education.
Real quick, and then we can get out of here. But the part of the point of bringing her up was that there's also people against this pick, and I don't expect everyone to fall in line all the time. But the thing that's interesting about the people who are against the pick, one of them was RFK Jr.'s running mate. So it certainly seems like they should jive. Seems like they should fall in line with each other. But it's interesting that they don't. So I'm going to put it up real quick, and it's just interesting to me that people who should naturally kind of be friends seem to be enemies.
And then let me show you another weird tweet that just came out. Who was the VP candidate for RF Kennedy Jr.?
Shanahan.
Did you hear what she said yesterday, Rob? Can you pull up the tweet of what she just said yesterday?
Yeah.
Very weird, folks.
Oh, really?
You haven't
seen it?
Yeah. Rob, pull up this clip here.
Okay, do it live, boys.
Watch this. This is such a weird tweet. This is Nicole Shannon. Can you verify that it's her account? Go on her account. Okay. How many followers? That's her account.
Yes,
okay?
it is. I checked.
I want to
go
look
back.
like PVD.
Tweet. Yes, it's very strange.
Like
Doesn't
just
make
so politely bossy. Just go here, do this, do this.
You put that up on the screen. Put it up. Put it up on the screen.
Yeah, put it
will
up.
be working under HHS or in an appointment, and that people much more qualified would
He's
be.
like
I don't know
politely
if
and
he
asked.
very clearly lied to me or what is going on. It has been clear in recent conversation that he is reporting to someone regularly who is controlling his decisions, and it isn't President Trump. With regards to the siblings, there is something very artificial and aggressive about them, almost like they were bred and raised Manchurian assets.
What?
Nicole Shanahan.
What is she talking
We're
about?
talking about the new person that got the job. So click on that. So Dr. Jack Cruz tried to tell us Mary Talley Bowen was on the podcast.
It said he lied to her, or that he's reporting to someone else, and that person is not Trump. And went as far to say that this person that we just watched that 6-minute clip on is a Manchurian candidate. So that sounds like more than just personal beef between the two of them.
David, can you look up the definition of Manchurian candidate? I think I would say it, but I think I'm wrong.
Well, hold on. Good news. I don't have to.
Podcast
Keep watching.
She knows the deal with means. Let's see how this pans out. I can't help but think this is a very carefully groomed and selected person. Just about no clinical experience, talks a great game and everything.
Manchurian candidate is like a groomed
all wrong.
person.
Why? There are so many better choices. Click on that. And this is the appointment of Dr. Casey to be the next Surgeon General, which Laura Loomer posts something about the fact that she doesn't even have her license active as of last November of 2024, January of 2024, I believe. And
she said something to the effect of disappointed in Team Trump.
Well,
something to that effect. For Laura Loomer to say that?
Well, he was supposed to go
that
somewhere
she
else.
feels some type of way.
There was another nominee. It was a female, correct? And then they did this last minute. He didn't pick the girl that he was supposed to get.
Now, Casey means real first name Paula. Only recently started going by her name Casey. She moved to Oregon, complete her residency, but decided to drop out on her final year. Now she doesn't even have an active medical license. Trump appoints her as U.S. Surgeon General today. Something just isn't adding up. Why would you go by a different name your whole life and then randomly decide to start going by Casey once you become a social media influencer? Dr. Paula means, I don't know. So
who's her sibling? She said nominated these siblings. Didn't she say that in the first sentence?
Yeah, if you type, what is the relation?
Her brother is Callie Means, an entrepreneur and health policy advocate.
Where's he work for?
Who is 40 years old.
Does he work for any pharmaceutical companies or anything like that?
Together, the Mean siblings co-authored the 2024 book, Good Energy, The Surprising Connection Between Metabolism and Limitless Health, which critiques the U.S. healthcare system and emphasizes the role of metabolic health in preventing chronic diseases. Okay. They've been influential figures in the MAHA movement, advising Health and Human Services.
Yeah, it really does.
Secretary RFK on health policy. Their advocacy focuses on promoting whole food diets, reducing processed food consumption, and addressing lifestyle factors contributing to chronic illness. Okay.
Was their speech?
I would wonder why this was RFK's running mate. I think she donated how much money to the campaign? 20 million, if not more. Does anybody have more insight on what RFK is doing than his running mate? And for her to basically look at this decision and say, what is going on here?
Manchurian candidate. That's a
very strong allegation.
Define what a Manchurian candidate.
Manchurian
I just
candidate,
watched it a month and a half ago with the kids.
It's when they use like that MK Ultra brainwashing stuff to have people under their control. They could hire you to be an assassin, and the assassin could do the hit and then come out of it and not know anything that they did with any recollection or any knowledge of it. It's that brainwashing stuff that we watch, even that movie, in the movie. Actually, they did do a movie about it, but Chaos, where the CIA uses, drugs and all mind-altering stuff with psychiatrists to make you lose your freaking mind and lose all self-control, and you become a freaking a hitman for them.
That's one type. The other type is you simply create a candidate who is going to work against the state, the country for which you get elected. And behind the scenes, that person is a very bad person, but out in front, they're groomed for it without brainwashing. So you're right. There's couple ways create a Manchurian candidate One is, basically a spy that you groom all the way up so that they could get elected somewhere. And then they're working on things not in the favor of the country or the city that they're elected to.
Yep.
I think it's important to point out we don't know anything about them. This is not our opinion. We're commenting on what other people have said.
Oh, yeah. And then
I've never really heard
Trump
of these people.
first pick.
No, this
Dr.
is Nicole Shanahan used the term Manchurian candidate.
Yeah. Rob, you ready for this? So Trump's first pick was Dr. Jeanette Neshawat. But after questions came up about her medical credentials and her past support for COVID vaccines, he pulled her nomination and went with Casey Means.
Interesting.
So there's infighting in the camp about how this woman's credibility and if she's a plant or not.
Yes.
But the thing that she's saying in her speech lines up with the thing that she has, I'm assuming, made success.
Well, here's the one final piece of information that I know. The same person, Nicole Shanahan, who was the VP pick for Robert Kennedy when he was running, stated that where the family's money comes from is a company that they founded which collects biometric data, which is like heart rate, your fingerprints, by the way, for people who like the biometric login, that's your thumbprint. Guess what? That information's stored somewhere. So your thumbprints, your fingerprints, your heartbeat, your health information, the amount of steps you have in a day,
Steps
your
you
heart
walk,
rate,
your diet, how
blood
much food
pressure,
you ate, your water.
The company, mass metadata, you could call it, collects biometric mass metadata, if you want to call it that. And that's where the money comes from.
Completely useless, David, of course. It's not like they could use that mass biological metadata, David, to, I don't know, maybe put something in the food, water, air supply to target certain people's genes or way of thinking. And maybe, David, put them under certain states of mind and altered states of consciousness with synthetic chemicals to make them believe whatever they want.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I don't know where this person falls. Because she sounded great. She sounds awesome. But there's questions, and I'd love to know the inside scoop there because something's going on.
Well, David, maybe some things are really too good to be true.
And the changing your name thing's weird. But maybe it's not that weird. I don't know.
Maybe it's for privacy.
But to be fair, that... And I'm not saying it's not true, but the person who said that pretends they're Jewish and got a nose job to look Jewish. So, I don't know. Laura Loomer.
Well, until my nose job.
Tidbit courtesy of Milo.
Well, until my nose job. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the weekly show for the greatest podcast in all of the history of humanity. As always, David, I appreciate you the most for your nose, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy Friday.
Thanks, everyone. Well, it's Thursday now. Happy Friday tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's Happy Friday.
You're pre-Happy Fridaying, people?
Fucking union, dude. Wear a Hawaiian shirt, drink a beer on lunch, forget about it, dude.
It's the worst.
Just twist the nuts lefty, righty, righty, loosey.
Dude, you just described electricity as a thing that doesn't exist. So you're telling me your work...
I get paid for a job that's not real. Yes, David.
You have a union surrounded around a thing that doesn't exist. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, so pay your dues so that I can retire. I'm going. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Get us on Rumble!